Welcome to Behind the Barcode, the podcast that goes beyond the label to uncover the stories of the faces behind your favorite products. We're your hosts, Anna and Sydney.
In this podcast, we dive into the dynamic world of consumer packaged goods with a focus on better-for-you products. As entrepreneurs ourselves, we know firsthand the challenges and triumphs of bringing a product to market. That's why we're here to share the journeys of fellow innovators, industry experts, and entrepreneurs who are making waves in the CPG space.
Join us as we sit down with inspiring guests to explore the stories behind the UPC codes, uncovering the passion, perseverance, and purpose driving their businesses forward. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur, a budding startup, or simply curious about the stories behind the products you love, this podcast is for you.
So grab your favorite snack and get ready to go behind the barcode.
Welcome, David, Behind the Barcode. We're so excited to have you today. I actually did your Kabbalah 1 class, which was super enlightening for me and has actually changed my business and my mindset forever. David is the co-founder of MaryRuth Organics, which I'm pretty sure most of you listening know MaryRuth. I mean, you guys have, how many SKUs now? 200?
About 280.
That's incredible. And you can pretty much buy MaryRuth anywhere you go. They're online. MaryRuth is everywhere. Incredible supplement company and huge inspiration for us. So we're so excited to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Me.
Huge inspiration to echo Anna. And I used to work for Erewhon. And so I have been familiar with the brand for many years. And I personally saw your growth, which is really cool, like as a consumer. And then just like it felt overnight, even though I know it wasn't overnight, but the introduction of social media and TikTok and influencers and all of that and the word of mouth, and it just like you guys exploded. And I don't know if that, I know it's just from that's how it seemed.
Yes.
But I know it's like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it has been. Oh, what do you guys want to know? Where do you want to start?
Give us a little bit of a background about you and how you got started, and then we'll really dive into this explosion.
So my personal background, it's kind of split up in two parts. One is I started learning Kabbalah, which is like universal spiritual wisdom, when I was 15. It was life-changing for me, and it changed the trajectory of my life because I was supposed to kind of graduate college and then go into the business world. That was always my passion and dreams. But I realized that spirituality was just more fulfilling. And so I graduated UCLA at 19, and then instead of going to business school, I decided to just devote my life to nonprofit work. And so I traveled the world just teaching seminars and doing private coaching and donating it all to charity. So that's all I did. Didn't make any money. So by the time I turned 29, met MaryRuth. We got married. I didn't have money. She didn't have money. She came from the health and wellness background. I came from the spiritual, helping other people be successful. And we said, look, like we have to create a company ourselves. So it started off as a wellness coaching business. She would meet people one-on-one all day, sell these 12-week packages. People saw incredible results. It booked up quickly. The program was called Liquids to Lunch. And there's a whole spiritual process that we can get into later about how this happened, but we thought we needed to come up with an idea for a product. I said, what do you want to make? She's like, I want to make a liquid vitamin because my clients have to do liquids to lunch and capsules make them nauseous. And people just have a hard time taking capsules. Like we sell capsules too, because some things have to be made in capsules. But who wants to take like 4, 5, 6 pills every day? So we had no money, maybe like $700. Like literally that's all we had. And we were in debt. We hadn't paid our rent in 6 months. We couldn't afford anything. But we came up with a product, an idea, went to a manufacturer, said we want 20 bottles of this formula that we created. She said my minimum is like 20,000. I said, well, we can't afford that. She's like, well, she's hanging up the phone. And I called her back. I said, look, I promise you one day I will be your biggest customer. Just make me these 20 bottles. And she's like, I don't know why, but I feel compelled to say yes. I'm going to send you 20 bottles, but I'm probably never going to hear from you again. Then I was teaching all day for the nonprofit, and I finished my day at 10. So from 10 to 2 a.m., MaryRuth would sleep, and I would at that point like go on YouTube, and that's when I learned how to sell on Amazon, Facebook marketing, design, supply chain, manufacturing. I just learned it all on YouTube. It was 4 hours every night. Sold these products on Amazon. It kind of took off, and we just kept going from there. In the first year, we did about $500,000. dollars. It was just me, MaryRuth, and her mom, Colleen. Just the three of us. It was really just the three of us till we hit 10 million in revenue. We wore every hat. We answered every customer service question. Every single thing you can imagine, we just did more than even. I remember when my first child was being born, literally MaryRuth was in labor in the hospital. And I turned to Colleen and I said to her, we have a 24-hour window to answer these customer service questions on Amazon. Otherwise they penalize us. So literally, I think she was like five centimeters dilated. Yeah. And I literally got on the computer. I'm like, I got to bang out these last couple of questions. Like that's how intense it was, like building a business. But it went from like 500 then to 2.5, 5.5, and then 10. We hit 10 our fourth year, and then 20, and then 80. So the 20 to 80 jump was COVID. And then 130, 160, 260, then 400. That was the trajectory of sales. So it was crazy, and we had no clue. I mean, till today, we're not formally like business people, but we've always been surrounded by good people, good energy. MaryRuth is incredible when it comes to understanding people and caring about people and nurturing them, and that's gone a long way. Like we have 170 employees, and she takes care of each one of them. It's like family. So we built this culture, and we have a motto that really about the quality of our products. So it's been a big thing.
Wow, it's amazing. I was visualizing as you were telling the story. I was like visualizing the whole thing, her being in labor and everything. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Yes. Really incredible. And I was also listening to a podcast you were on previously about how you were talking about Whole Foods taking in a certain amount of products, like 100. You can't surpass 100 SKUs with Whole Foods. Then you said something like, oh, well, there's always exceptions to the rule. And I feel like your company is the quintessential example of the exception to the rule.
Yeah, it's funny because every month we have like an all staff meeting. Everybody comes on a Zoom. We're a fully remote company, so nobody's here in LA. I mean, not nobody.
I was just going to ask that, but I didn't know if that was a stupid question.
No, we have like maybe 10
people.
people.
Have an office here
So we have a tiny office, probably the size of the studio.
Okay.
And actually, we don't even go to it anymore. We made it into a TikTok live studio. So that's our office. So really, there's a kitchen, and there's people coming in doing 24/7 lives just from there. So we don't even go there anymore.
I literally go on at 4 a.m. and I see MaryRuth.
Hold on.
She's doing a live, right?
I need to hear about that.
That's a whole
after.
different thing that we can talk about.
Next, I need to hear about that.
So
it's really insane.
I don't know anything about business. What I know is about consciousness, because Kabbalah teaches about consciousness. Kabbalah teaches like the power of our soul. And if you ignite the power of your soul, that's atomic energy. You think about an atomic bomb is like a bomb the size of this couch, but somehow it could level the entire city of Los Angeles. Where is this energy coming from? From something so small, so much great energy can be created. The soul is a bomb, so to speak, that's in a positive way, that could create, if unlocked, energy that would change the whole universe. So what Kabbalah does is it helps us learn how to gradually unlock the soul's energy. So every month I'll go on our all-staff meeting to our all employees, and I'll share consciousness about what our mindset should be. Because if the mindset of our vice presidents and our directors and our managers and everyone under them, if the consciousness is blocked, if they're a limited belief system, if they're not working on their own spiritual work, the whole company is going to be blocked. The energy of the products are going to be blocked. When you go on a shelf and you're grabbing a product, the label matters, the ingredients matter, the price matters, but it's the energy. People feel energy. So I would say 99% of the success of our company has been founded upon consciousness and good energy. So I have so many examples. I can give you like literally hundreds of examples. But one of them was, before we got into retail, our head of sales was like a seasoned 40-year veteran, like an incredible human. I said to him, we're starting to get products at the Whole Foods. I think we started with 5 or 10. We were going to pitch. I said, we have 100 products. Like, we should get 100 products into Whole Foods. And he just started laughing. And he said, that's not how it works. Whole Foods has never done that. Any product we put in there, like, we got to make sure it sells. This, like, getting into the store is not the hard part. The hard part is making sure the product sells. So I said to him, I understand, but I'm seeing a vision of 100. Like, I know we can get 100. So we should not limit it in our mind. And we kept going back and forth. And I challenged him. And I said to him, listen, just be open and let's call the broker back and let's come up with this pitch and that pitch. And it was a whole thing. That year, certain things happened. I think we had like 72 products in that year, which was mind-blowing. It's never happened in any brand. And our product became the number one selling vitamin in all of Whole Foods. And then I think by the second year, we hit like 90 or 100. So we got there. But what happened was, it's like one of our competitors' manufacturing plant got demolished. And so they were out of stock. And so then Whole Foods comes to us and says, we need you to fill like all this gap and all this space. And we're like, all right, we'll turn it around in 3 months for you. And they're like, well, if you can do that, can you do this? And can you do that? And that's how it happened. So it's not things that you can predict or control, but energetically, and I always tell this to founders, if you get a glimpse of something, if you see something and you feel it, it means that its potential to become realized exists, causing you to feel that way. This thought didn't come from anywhere. The fulfillment of the thought exists in an unmanifested state, and it's sending you a signal, come reveal me. You are being given a signal to reveal it. Like the same way Elon Musk got a signal that said Mars should be colonized. No one else got the signal. He got the signal. Everybody thought he was crazy. Or electric cars. He got the signal. And what's great about Elon Musk is that when he gets the signal, he doesn't care what anybody thinks or says. He doesn't even care about putting all the chips in of his own money. He said that. He keeps putting all his money back into it. And as a result, he manifests these signals that everyone else would say, well, that's stupid. So we're all getting them. And whoever's listening can feel. It's less about the words I'm saying. It's more about the energy. You can probably feel when something is coming to you and you know it's real and right. And then there's 1,000 obstacles that come in. And that's where 99% of the people will give up, procrastinate, feel like maybe they don't deserve, or just bow out or pivot in another way. So you have to listen to that. So every time I got these glimpses, which I can also talk about what I do to get them and accelerate that process. It's another spiritual tool. When I get those glimpses, I push hard on the team. The team does not like that I push hard. The team disagrees with 9 out of 10 things I say, which is an interesting thing.
Sounds familiar.
Right?
I feel like everyone disagrees.
Everyone disagrees. Yeah. And you see all these great, it's like the founder's curse, right? Yeah. And everybody disagrees with Steve Jobs. Everybody disagrees with this one and that one. And you read Elon Musk biography. I'm listening to the audiobook. And like his whole team of engineers and lawyers will say, you can't do this. It's legally, you can't do this. Like there's laws around it. So Elon Musk will say, so we'll hire lawyers, we'll lobby, and we'll change the law around how a car should be made or how a rocket should be made. He's like, so change the law. He's like, well, what do you mean? You can't change the law. So Elon would fire him. If you don't, so just, and by the way, Elon Musk thinks it's easy to change laws to suit his company the way we think it's easy to go buy a latte at Erewhon. Just walk in and you get a latte. Would that be hard? No, you order it and it's done. He thinks it's that easy to do that. And whatever you think is hard, you will never manifest. And whatever you think is easy, the universe will mirror you and make it easy for you. So part of our spiritual work is that whatever is uncomfortable, to make it comfortable. Whatever is difficult, to make it easy. And then the energy opens up. That is the Whole Foods story. And in my mind, it was easy. And you know what helped me? The fact that I had no business experience. Sometimes when you have no experience, it's like a bad poker player. He can beat the world champion because he's so bad. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's almost like the rules don't apply to him. So
yeah, it's like you can be excused for things. I didn't know.
Correct.
You're not saying that, but like it's your first time doing it, and so then because of that, you don't even have any history of it working or not working. It's all a blank slate.
It's a blank slate. Like children think unlimited, and as they grow up, they think we become more limited as adults. Yeah. Right. You're in your 20s, so you have much more passion and unlimited, and the idea of relationships so much more exciting. And then kind of girls and men and women get in their 30s, and then in their 40s, and everything becomes more limiting. There's a lot more limited beliefs. You're gonna feel like you're gonna get hurt more often. A guy has to be like this and look like that. And I was talking to a woman in her 30s, and I'm like, "What are you looking for?" She's single. She's like, "The checklist is like so long." And I'm talking to a girl in her 20s. The checklist is like a tenth of the size. Why? Because the girl in her 30s is like, no, he has to already be established. I'm not doing that again. She's in her 20s. She's like, no, I'm happy to build with him. So there's like all these limitations that we create in our mind as we get older, which is also a sign of aging. you can biologically age, but you don't have to age in your consciousness. So if you're listening to this, a sign that you're getting closer to death is you have more limitations than you did last year. And a sign that you're aging backwards and you actually are rejuvenating your cells is you have less limitations in every category, in career, in relationships, in friendships. If you find yourself isolating more, if you find yourself being more sarcastic, more negative, more judgmental, it means you're aging. You're actually getting closer to death.
How does someone tap into this consciousness and like really figure it out and be able to get these different like hits, intuition hits?
So obviously, like the answer is like you learn Kabbalah as a system, it helps. But if you want like a tool, one of the things that I do, there's a technology that I think has been lost on billions of people because it's so powerful. The negative side has found a way to make us feel that it is not efficacious, which is prayer. A lot of people think prayer is I bribe God or this universal energy to make me less uncomfortable. God made some kind of mistake here in my life, so I'm going to pray, and God's going to take this problem away. This is bribery. This is not prayer. Prayer is a technology by which I change my vessel to receive the energy. There is no deficiency in the light of the Creator. There's no deficiency in the fulfillment. Meaning, your soulmate is there, prosperity is there, the ideas are there. It's always been there since the time of creation. That's never changed. The energy of God, or whatever you want to call it, this universal force of fulfillment, has always been there and is always there. A person can technically meet their soulmate in 1 minute. A person can technically become a millionaire in 1 minute. Your millions that belongs to your soul, someone's just holding on to it until your soul is ready. You could transform the frequency of your soul to make that money immediately if you wanted. As I say this, people will often say that's impossible, or they'll be like, that's not how things work. But that's a limited belief system. If I took all of Elon Musk's money away and all his connections and all his power, and I put him in a random country, he'd be a billionaire by the end of the year. Right? I think it was Warren Buffett who said this, like, if you take all the money of all the people in the world and you equally redistribute it out to everybody, in 10 years, everyone's wealth would go exactly back to where it was. Because what is wealth? Wealth is an energy. How do I know how wealthy I will be? It's dependent on my vessel to receive that energy. If I expand the vessel, the energy comes in. If I contract the vessel, the energy leaves. So if a 60-watt bulb can hold how much wattage? 60 watts. Can a 60-watt bulb hold 1,000 watts? No. If I try to force 1,000 watts into 60, what's going to happen? The bulb's going to explode. So people in this world are given a certain vessel, and through spiritual work and through consciousness, you can expand this vessel. Prayer is a way to expand the vessel. So one of the things I try to do every day is go for a walk, and I talk out loud to the universe about anything and everything I want.
Like as if you've already had it, or as if like...
That's a great question. Joe Dispenza will tell you to meditate, you've already had it. That's the second part of it. Okay. The first part of it is you ask, because the asking expands the vessel. Then the certainty that you have it is what draws the energy in and solidifies it. Because you need to first expand what you know is possible and what you want. And you have to ask for it. Most people, when I talk to them, they're not clear about what they want. If I ask you, like, what do you want for your business? You'll start talking, and you'll realize after 15 minutes, you've said 25 different things. So I want to help. I want to nourish. I want to make money. I'm not sure I want to make it. It's not really clear. What do you want? And if it's not clear to me when someone's speaking, it's definitely not clear to the universe. So then the universe is confused. So the reason why things aren't moving is because the universe doesn't really know how to deal with you. It's very confusing energetically. Have you ever dated a guy who wasn't sure about what he wanted?
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Is it attractive to date a man who knows what he wants?
Yeah.
It is attractive, right?
And if you can make decisions quickly.
That is attractive, right?
Yeah.
So a man who is very slow in deciding and is always confused and insecure about what the right decision is not an attractive quality?
That's an unattractive quality.
That's an unattractive quality, right?
Yeah.
So think about when we act that way towards the Creator or towards the universe, it's also very unattractive. We have this unattractive vibration. We're not really sure what we want. We're not sure. We don't make decisions quickly. So there's a lot there, but I will just kind of go for that walk and I'll just talk out loud and I'll just say whatever comes to me. Let's say I'm trying to hire some position. I'll be like, I am looking for a VP of customer service. Show me where they are. How I say to the creator, show me what I need to change to draw that person in. Because the founder is the one either blocking the energy or opening up the energy of the company. The founder is the head of the company, literally the brains. Because how do I know? If I, back to Elon Musk, if I fired you as the CEO of your company and I made Elon Musk your CEO, what would happen to the company? Would he just grow it 20% to whatever the revenue is? No, he'd be $1 billion company by the end of the week. And not because he's using his resources, because his brain would draw in this energy force. His soul would draw in this energy force, open it up. So I'll literally ask the creator, what do I need to do to have a vessel like Elon Musk?
This stood out to me is when you were talking about the beginning stages of MaryRuth, saying how then you asked the manufacturer, can you make me 20 bottles? Like the word for that I'm missing right now, and it's a lot of it's a quality that a lot of people miss, that a lot of founders need, or to get into business, you have to have this quality, which is that, and I don't know the word for it, and you can help me find it, which is like someone tells you no, and you go, but no, but yes. Like, is there any way that you could possibly make me 20? I know you're telling me it's 20,000, but can you make me 20?
Right.
And I feel like whatever I'm losing the word on that. Persistence.
It's like a persistence. It's a grit. It's certainty.
Because you see it, like you
Yes.
see it, you have the vision.
Because
right?
once you have the vision, it doesn't matter what anybody says.
Right, and so then she was mirroring your vision because she said, "I'm inclined to say yes, and I don't know why."
Correct, and that's a very powerful statement what you
Yes.
just said, because I don't think a lot of people realize everybody wants to be sold. I love being sold. I sit in front of somebody like, I have a great product. I'm like, sell me. I want to enjoy your product. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be like convinced to buy this. And everybody actually wants to feel that energy. So when you go up to someone and you need something and you see a vision of how it can be a win-win, it doesn't even matter what they say. You have to tell them, it's like, I understand you're saying no, but I know with certainty we're both going to be really happy here.
Right.
So what's it going to take to even try? I'm going to make a whole video about this soon on my Instagram. The power of thinking small. Actually, it's really good to think small. I know I'm saying think big. You need to think big, but you need to have dedicated times where you think really small. I only ask for 20 bottles because if I can sell 20 bottles successfully, I can sell 2 million bottles successfully. It's the same blueprint. Right. What people do is they try to think too big too quickly, and they don't build the foundation for success, which is accomplish very small things quickly and efficiently and build off of that. We were profitable since day one. That was our goal. I personally don't like to build a business that is maybe one day going to be profitable.
Right. I'm so there with you.
You're in the business of making money and improving people's lives.
Sorry to interrupt. It
No,
took
please.
me 4 years to get to where you're saying.
It took you 4 years, you're saying, yeah. And it's painful.
Painful. Because
profit, Mary used to always say this. She tells the whole company, our goal is to be profitable because when we're profitable, we have free will. When we have free will, we can take care of people. When you're not profitable, you have handcuffs on and you can't exercise your vision of helping people. So finding a way, and then people say, well, that's impossible. That's a limited belief. Right. There's always a way to be profitable on day one and still grow fast.
Everyone says to me, oh, it's a food business. You don't make money until 5 years in the business. And I'm like,
that is
why?
Such a limiting belief.
It's a limiting belief.
Overhearing that.
Who made that up? Who said that?
Right.
I want to know who came up with that.
Right.
So then I've gone about the last few years being like, oh, well, it's okay because everyone's saying the first 5 years, right? And then I've come to this point where, like, I think Anna and I are both in this transition period right now that's like, okay, what is happening? Like, presently, what is going on? And I'm tired of other people in the business saying, or people that are contractors in the business saying, oh, well, in the near future, we can bring down the cost to blah, blah. And I'm like, thank you. But if I hear in the near future again, I'm going to shut it all down.
Right.
What about now?
Right.
Like now, you know?
Beautiful. And then you help them realize how now can work.
Yes.
There's always, if it came to you, it means there's always a way.
Yes.
And if you sit there, I've sat with my teams and be like, well, there's got to be a way. And they'll be like, there's no way. And I'd be like, well, no one's going to lunch until somebody tells me a way. And then eventually you ask enough. So that's what prayer, you're also praying in the meeting. When I say, is there a way? That's a form of prayer. I'm asking the universe, is there a way? And I've asked the team 1,000 times, almost like they're sick of it. And I'll say, okay, if nobody figured out a way, I'm going to go for a walk and ask the creator for an hour. And we're going to come back to this meeting and see if the creator spoke to you. The creator's going to speak to somebody. We need to open up our vessel because the answer is there. We just don't have the merit to receive it. So by the end of the day, we need to be the ones that receives it. There's a good idea. Some company's going to draw it down. Why can't we be the ones to draw it down if we're meant to?
Are your employees in your company, like, are they, when you, I mean, I don't have the pleasure of sitting in a Zoom meeting with 170 employees. How do they receive these messages? Like, not everyone is as spiritually tapped in as you are, for instance. Like, how do they react to that, just out of curiosity?
So the meeting's like hour long, and the first about 30 minutes of that is MaryRuth talking and me talking. MaryRuth, when she talks, it's all concepts around energy. Vibration, energy. Like I will every morning, we get together and she'll do her whole morning wellness routine. She'll do some red light therapy. She'll be on a rebounder. And I remember I was doing my stretching and she was on the rebounder. And her routine every morning is she meditates and puts a golden bubble around every single important person in our lives, including every employee. She'll say the names of each person. She puts a golden bubble around them. She puts a golden bubble around each of our products. This is a whole 30-minute thing, right? She says the names, and then that's the morning routine. And so she puts the energy out there, and then she'll talk about that on the Zoom. She'll be like, you got to put the energy out there. I'll go to Whole Foods almost every week, and I'll sit in front of the product shelf. I'll just start meditating on the products and visualizing all the products in all the stores and putting a pulse of energy through it. So that's what we do. We tell the employees we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're very careful not to force it upon them, but so many of my employees will reach out and say, hey, like, I'm watching your content, because I don't talk about Kabbalah. I just say consciousness. And then they start taking my classes or Kabbalah masterclass or whatever. So a lot of the employees are studying, whether I realize it or not, but I don't make it mandatory for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. That's like, so it's like naturally translated to them.
Naturally, in their way. Because I used to always talk to businesses and I don't even say it's Kabbalah. I just say it's energy, it's consciousness. And people are like, this sounds perfect. This is what we need. Every company needs it.
So you would recommend to people if they have a business to, one, get rid of their limiting beliefs, like identify them, and then prayer too.
Yeah. So those are two things. I gave a seminar. It was a 3-week seminar about it's called Prosperity Mastery. It was the 5 spiritual things we did to build the brand. And one of them is all about how to dissect and demolish these limited beliefs that we all have, conscious and unconscious, that are holding us back. Because, for example, if you have a belief, a lot of people have the belief that you must suffer to be successful. You saw your parents do it. Maybe it's an immigrant mentality. In order to be successful, I must suffer. Then you are now welcoming in a reality that you must suffer. That's not how it has to be. The creator doesn't suffer, but you're choosing to create a destiny where you receive the fulfillment that is destined for you via suffering. And that's your new movie. And your friend, on the other hand, will be successful much quicker without suffering because that's not their belief system. It's so simple. Half the people listening right now are like, wait a minute, I think I have this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even sitting here thinking, okay, what limiting beliefs do I have? Even though I do think that I have, for the most part, an unlimited mindset where I'll literally push people into my beliefs, and I really think that I can do anything.
Anna has no ceiling.
That's
no
great.
ceiling.
Same with you, though, too.
She's helped me get there, but you definitely
but
have.
I didn't go to business school. Sydney didn't go to business school. Like, had zero. Went to YouTube University.
Yeah.
No, she's helped me a ton. So. She says that we're going to have, and I fully now believed, it took me like 2 years to get on board. She says we're going to have a private health and, sorry, not private. It's going to be a health and wellness airlines called Squirrel Air. Okay. My mother has purchased the domain name because she believes in it, squirrelairlines.com. The world's first premier health and wellness airlines. I thought she was a nutcase when she first said it. And I thought it was crazy. I started laughing like it's a joke. And now I'm like, it's happening. It's going to happen.
I love that.
See it.
It's gonna happen. The opportunity.
And instead of the plane, like the tail like that, it's going to be a squirrel tail as the plane. Do you see it?
I'm waiting for the plane that I'm not going to just be sitting the whole time eating, drinking
like
Coke.
there will be like a yoga thing in the back so you could do stretching math. Because I stretch on every single flight and everyone looks at me like a crazy.
Weird. I'm doing yoga. Oh yeah, I'm doing yoga. I'm doing yoga in the office.
Why does everybody look like look at me like I'm insane? Like I'm sorry that it's a 13-hour flight and I have to stretch my legs for a second.
Everyone will get little bottles of MaryRuth's. Multivitamins.
Multivitamins.
I hand those out on the plane all the time. The flight attendants love it.
We made viral videos just from the airplane giving samples out.
100%. Or standing desks where we're just standing and working.
Standing desks
Why do I
on
need
the
to be sitting
airplane.
working?
Great.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, there are safety. It's funny because I was sitting next to somebody who was like he was like an engineer at Boeing, and he left to start a new airline company that you will see these planes come out in about 5 years. Like all the big airlines ordered them, and he showed me the design. Basically, it's a lot of what you're saying. It's like these planes have not been updated in 50 years. Here's what's interesting. Why is that?
Yeah.
Because I said, you just show me like the new plane of the future, which literally has all the stuff you're talking about.
Okay.
And he said to me, I said, why no standing desk? He's like, listen, for something to be approved on a plane, it has to pass a safety threshold that out of 100, it would only fail once out of 100 million uses. He said, simply standing on a plane or doing yoga in the aisle increases the chance of injury, and so it will not pass the FAA regulation. So this is the practical.
Not in the aisle, but what about a secured area? In the back?
Maybe. I'm just kind of throwing the sobering reality that comes in, because I asked him these questions too. He's like, look, like I'm sure the tail of the plane looking like a squirrel tail. I'm sure that, the engineers at Boeing would be like, listen, there's some practical reasons why that's not going to work. But let me tell you what he really said. So he said, this is really interesting. He said, you all left Boeing to start this thing that's going to change the industry. Like, why didn't Boeing just make this? He's like, we presented it to Boeing. They didn't want to do it. I said, why? Yeah. He said, Boeing has like trillions of dollars of orders in the pipeline from every airline for these old style planes. If all of a sudden they said they have a new style plane, what happens to all those orders? All these purchase orders for trillions of dollars would be canceled. The company value would go down like by 90% overnight. It's in the best interest as a business decision to stick with the original planes. This is where innovation is so amazing, because then the engineers left and said, well, we're going to start our own company where we're not beholden to that. It's pretty interesting, right?
Wow.
So it's just interesting things you never know. And this is where innovation happens, where a company becomes a dinosaur. A company becomes a cruise ship and not a jet ski. And you can't maneuver as easily. And here's something else. I tell the company all the time. We have to be a jet ski and not a cruise ship. If it's taking us it takes Nestle 18 months to come out with a product. It shouldn't take us more than 4. And if we're on our game, it should be 3. With all the proper proper things.
Yeah.
It's bureaucracy. It's talking and back and forth.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
So then how did you go from those 20 bottles to where you're at now? Like tangibly, how did this all happen, and what advice would you give to CPG founders along the way, besides what you were talking about with what Anna just beautifully summed up? Yeah. Like, what is something that people don't know about the supplement industry that you would want them to know about the supplement industry? Because I find for the food business, it's all smoke and mirrors. And part of what I share on my Instagram is to let people know that it's actually not what it seemed.
Look, it's scary because I once had something I learned, that until a company passes a certain revenue number, most likely, woman who was once close to me reached out to me, and she's a supplement company. Probably I was doing a little bit of revenue. She said to me, she's like, can you help me with manufacturing? My current manufacturer is not able to make enough product, whatever. I'm like, can I use your manufacturing facility? I said, send me the bottle. Let me see what it is. Send me the formula, send me the bottle. I send it to my guy. Emails me and says, who is this person what is this product you just sent to me? I said, what's the issue? He said, David, I tested it. I said, and he's like, and this is like a popular product, like a lot of people take. And he's like, there's only 1% of what it says on the label is in the bottle. And I said, are you serious? So I look at the test, we test it again, test more. So I went back to her, I said, your product only has 1%. Let's say it's a magnesium product. I said, there's only 1% magnesium in here. She's like, you're kidding. She's like, I didn't know that. I said, what do you mean? She's like, I don't know. People tell me it's such a great product. I'm selling thousands and thousands of bottles. The manufacturer was cutting corners, basically, And it's interesting because there's nothing really to regulate this unless a consumer finds it, maybe files a class action lawsuit or something, and that's how it gets discovered. When brands get big, they're a target, right? Like every week we have somebody trying to target us for something.
Right.
So the bigger you get, you're forced to be buttoned up in every way possible. We have so many checks and balances in our company, from ingredient to suppliers to manufacturing to legal to testing. It costs an absurd amount of money. But at our size, if one thing goes wrong, it's a recall and it's potential bankruptcy. What I'll say is, it's important to learn, and because you guys are in the food and supplement industry. It's there's a lot going on that's not regulated, and it's kind of scary. I'll be honest. I'll go to Air One, and there's a lot of great products there, but these things that people make in their kitchen, no one's testing this for bacteria or mold. They're just putting it in a jar, putting a cute label on it. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's non-GMO and it's organic. That's what makes it more dangerous often, right? Because there isn't full checks and balances. So it's something just to keep in mind. But I'll say, going back to your first question was how we got there as a founder. It's micro and it's macro, which is the macro is you think big, you have unlimited belief system about receiving. You deserve to manifest this, and you hold on to that consciousness. The micro is, at least how I like to do it, I like to be a perfectionist and invest in every detail of what I'm incubating, because whatever you're incubating in the beginning is really going to be the foundation and the case study to kind of grow it to the next level. And if the foundation is shaky, then the whole thing kind of becomes shaky. So I remember I would write to every customer and be like, how do you like the product? I would respond to every review. All of these things we did until $10 million of revenue. And then we did it, but we couldn't do it with every customer. So I would say you almost have to be maniacal about the customer service experience in the beginning of anything you do. Those customers will become your super fans. They will be with you for life, and they'll tell everybody about you. So our customer service policy in the beginning, we don't have it anymore, was if you don't like a product, email us. We'll refund you on the spot, no questions asked. We'll let you keep the product. You can throw it away or use it. We'll send you any other product from our store as a free gift, and we'll give you a $20 gift card. It was my CFO was like, you were going to bankrupt us. I said, no, we trust humans. Humans aren't going to take advantage of us. It was such a popular thing that people would just write in every mommy Facebook group and saying, hey guys, did you try this? And someone would write, who cares if it doesn't work? Who cares if it's not good? Look at their customer service policy. They'll refund you. They'll give you another product. You get a gift card. I almost hope it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the marketing angle from that was insane. And the customer was happy. It's like Costco. They'll let you return anything. So it removes buyer's remorse. And the more you take care of the customer, the more you're going to grow. And at some point, people stop taking care of the customer. Our advantage is when companies sell out to the big guys, the Nestle's and the Proctors of the world. When they buy a company, it's hard. It's how are they going to manage this now? The founder passion is gone.
Right.
That's when we know we can come in. That's where you get the best talent, because talent's jumping ship usually. That's when you can kind of take over a segment, because everything starts to move slower, as it would with any big company. So that is kind of our advantage, I would say.
Also, I will agree with you. The supplement industry is so unregulated. It's actually alarming, and I feel like every day I see some new supplement on TikTok Shop, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
who created this? Is this a drop shipper?
Do not
Big
buy
booty supplements.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
do not buy on Amazon or TikTok shops unless it's a brand you're aware of.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's if you're in Whole Foods or Sprouts, because I know you guys are in Sprouts, Sprouts is worse than Whole Foods in terms of what you got to do to pass to clear their bar.
Right.
And that's like a one level. Or Costco. Oh my God, they are maniacal about their testing and what's in their product. So once a product's in retail, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Costco, so on and so forth, there's a level of trust that you can have in it. And but if you haven't seen this brand anywhere but TikTok shops, there's a lot of fly-by-night brands. They're just great marketers, and the product could be like whatever. You're being kind of sold.
Yeah.
It's more important
be
than
careful.
ever to buy from trusted brands.
Correct.
Speaking of TikTok Shop, can you tell us about the viral hair supplement that's everywhere, and how did you guys create this?
Oh my God. So that came on a walk. I was walking and talking to the creator, and I said, I need to come up with what's the next segment of our brand that we're going to build. I was taking Nutrafol because I'm 40 now. When I was turned 38, I was like freaking out about my hair. So I started taking Nutrafol. It's the only clinically studied hair growth supplement. I don't know if you know, but brands can't say hair growth unless you have a clinically studied double-blind placebo on a healthy population that it works. It's the gold standard, and it's very hard to achieve that. So Nutrafol did. But every other brand that's saying hair growth, with the exception of maybe Viviscal, they are breaking the law essentially. But they're trying to get away with it. So I was taking Nutrafol, and every night I would take these 4 pills, and I literally would get them lodged in my throat. Like pills, I just couldn't do it. Like
They're like pretty big pills.
They're big.
Yeah.
They're big, and it's 4 of them. It's not like one. And then I just got pill fatigue. I was walking and I was talking to the creator. I'm like, what is the world? And then it just came to me like, if I care this much about hair growth, and then I realized like menopausal hair loss, there's postpartum hair loss, there's COVID was happening, so there was hair loss. Like, it's a big deal. Hair is a big deal. So I told my team, I'm like, can we create a product that's in liquid format, better absorption, maybe liposomal, and let's get the clinicals going. Like we spent a lot of money on this. 6 months later, we came out with this multivitamin that also had an ingredient that was clinically studied for hair growth within 3 weeks. I think Nutrafol is 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. Clinically studied for wrinkles and fine lines. Clinically studied for collagen. Clinically studied for fat burning, for weight management. And like we created like the perfect product. The price point was lower than Nutrafol. It tasted great. This is just a little shot, peach mango. It tastes like a smoothie. And
You're
now,
selling me already.
Oh my gosh.
I have it on my counter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Within 9 months, the product was on track to do like 100 million that year. And it became the #1 multivitamin in all of Amazon. It's the #1 product at Whole Foods. It's the #1 product at Air One. It's the #1 product anywhere we place it. And then we got the exclusivities and the clinical, we created this whole moat around it. And that all started from just walking and talking to the creator. And by the way, guess what my team said? My team thought it was a bad idea. My team's like, we're not a hair brand. My team's like, no, this is not going to work. It was like I had to ram that thing through PDI, my product development department. Like, and I had to keep reminding them, like, do not forget, like, MaryRuth and I own this company. Like, you have to do what we say.
Follow my
You have to
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah.
Like, there's, I rarely will veto like my team if they're really like adamant about something. Like, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Because also something that happened was in the beginning of the last year. It was also our sales were kind of slowing, and I was kind of worried about that. So I'm like, I gotta pray. I'm like, I need an opening. A lot of chaotic things happened, which is a good sign. So when a lot of problems happen in your business, and you're actually praying for great things to happen, but chaos happens, it's a sign that you're being cleansed for something big to happen.
Needed that today.
Yeah. So
I'm envisioning French squirrel being cleansed.
Yes. So November, December of like 2 years ago was like atrocious, and we had like this problem and that problem and
yeah.
manufacturing and supply chain and like everything that could go wrong. After I prayed, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I remember Kabbalah says this is a good thing. So I had complete certainty. I told the team like this is all a good sign. The team's like, "What? Are you out of your mind?" I'm like, this is all a good sign. Like, what do you mean? Trust me, it's a good sign. Let's just be positive and let's just keep doing the work and something good's going to happen. Early January, this girl from Los Angeles makes a video on TikTok where she says, guys, and she pulls out one of her hairs and says, I've been having my gray hairs turn black from taking this product, our liquid multivitamin.
I know who it is. Yeah.
Have you seen this video?
Yes, I have seen this.
It was this video got like 50 million views. Sales, it cleared every store and it went bonkers. Now we can't make that claim because you can't say something changes premature gray because you need to run a clinical on it.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't say it. She said it. And it just bananas. And it was, and you couldn't, like, the video was like from God. Like, you couldn't have made a better video. Founders know you try to reduplicate a viral video, it doesn't work. Yeah. But whatever divinely was needed to happen, and that took the business, that one video, took the business to a whole new stratosphere.
I'm smiling because I just I feel
that, right?
I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it.
And
That's
whoever's
incredible.
going through a tough time now, that's what builds the vessel for the success.
Yes.
But if you get sad, depressed, angry, or become reactive during that time, you slow down the miracles. So you have to get really excited and passionate about the pain. And then it all opens up.
Yeah. And you said your team said no, persistence. Maybe that's the word. I don't know. To keep going and it's funny how you said, I don't know anything about business. I just said that the other day because on a personal note with our cereal clusters right here.
This product.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait to try. I haven't tried this yet.
I had 2 notes on that.
Yes.
Number 1, I just launched a second flavor of this called French Toast Bisou.
Oh, wow.
And it has a purple packaging, okay? And I know that you're talking about your walks that you go on. I don't know, my equivalent to that, it came up in my dreams.
Okay.
The color, the purple color. My family in my group chat, when I sent the PDF design, because I was so excited, they go, why purple? Doesn't make any sense. Purple's weird. Change it. I don't like purple. And I go, no. No. Everyone was asking me why purple. I have no reason why, except I visualize it. I just saw it on the shelf. I see it at Erewhon right next to the orange bag right here. And now everyone is saying it's the perfect color. It's beautiful. I love it. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm not a manufacturer. I know nothing about manufacturing, okay? And I was moving production for my cereal clusters. How do we scale this thing? And the manufacturer said it's not possible to put the cereal in the panning machine. You know when nuts, almonds, peanuts are getting coated with chocolate?
Yeah.
They said it's going to crush the cereal. You can't put the cereal in that machine. I go, I think we can. And they go, no, but you don't understand. You don't know anything about the machinery. Do you remember I told you this?
Yes, I remember that.
I don't know. I know nothing about manufacturing. I grew up watching how it's made with my dad, okay, watching at night. And I go, I know the cereal can go in that machine. Let's try it. It works. The cereal doesn't get crushed. That's how I make it today in that huge panning machine. That. And they all told me it's not going to work.
I love that.
So in the same way, so to own a business, you have to have that persistence plus the vision being strong enough.
There is a word for it.
There's a word.
There's
and I'm not. I know.
Well, being certain that it's going to be successful, which is
someone
you said this
no.
during Kabbalah 1, and I made this my phone screen background, and I look at it every single day. If you transform your doubts into certainty, you will be successful. And every time I have a doubt come up, why are you doing this? What are you thinking?
Love that.
I'm gonna be certain.
It's something it's almost like delusion. It's something delusional. It's like all great founders have this I can't.
Yes.
There's a word for it.
And it's because delusional is a little bit has a slight negative connotation.
It's a negative one. Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of the word, but it's someone tells you no and you go, no, I think yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's the
I don't know what the word is, but all successful people have it.
We'll all think of it later.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And so then now you're doing these TikTok. So that was a TikTok video that blew it all up. Then now you turned your office into a TikTok shop live studio. And
that was on
a walk.
That was on a walk too. I saw a vision of TikTok being the future, what Amazon was 10 years ago. I went to the team. I'm like, we got to get ahead of this. And they're like, well, we're not sure. TikTok might be banned. I'm like, shut up with all that nonsense.
I can't hear.
I can't hear another nonsense like that. And then I'm like, let's just go to TikTok studio. Let's go to TikTok's headquarters and talk to them. Like, oh, we can't really do that. I'm like, just stop it. Like, let's go. And so I think we were like one of the first brands to get on TikTok shops and then lives. And we started to just do lives like everywhere. And it just took off. It's not as easy. It's not a profitable channel, but we're kind of in it for the long haul, and we're just investing to build it like what Amazon was. And yeah, it might be banned, it might not be banned, but we can't think like that. We just figure that we just got to move forward and see where it goes. So TikTok is probably now a channel that's even bigger than our website at this point.
Wow. And it translates to retail sales. It translates to Amazon sales as well.
The flywheel, the spillover is huge.
It's insane. And they were actually doing this in China like 8 years ago.
TikTok, people do live
streaming.
Live shopping is like 80% or something of Chinese sales.
That's how they do it. Yeah. They started it about 8-9 years ago there. And everyone that became a millionaire there is now a billionaire.
Yes.
So it's
they want to bring it here.
Who are these people doing it? They're MaryRuth employees.
Some are MaryRuth employees, but a lot of them are, and anybody can do it. We reach out to thousands of creators a day and basically say, hey, you can work from home. Just need a phone, and here's a product. We'll give it to you for free. Just talk about it on live shopping. And some people make like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month just talking about whatever. They'll have lunch, then they'll talk about the bottle. I know some people making about $300-$400 an hour, just sitting on this table here, just talking about the bottle. Talking about the product. It's QVC.
You don't even need to talk about the benefits. You could actually just continuously talk about how it's on sale.
We actually prefer you not to talk about the benefits because TikTok is really crazy about claims. Yeah. Just say, this is good for you. It helps with hair growth, and it's on sale. And that's it. Done. People sell. And because TikTok is pushing it out to people.
And it's so cool because it's interactive too. Like people are commenting. So it's like people are feeling seen. They're feeling heard like they never have before.
One click checkout. Good point. Ships the next day. TikTok's brilliant.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Amazing.
So brilliant.
And so how has your role changed as a founder from years ago when you first started MaryRuth to now?
Now I've kind of learned to focus on just like one thing that I'm good at and I can add to the business, and that's growth. So I just need to come up with $100 million idea a year is what I tell myself. So I will literally clear my schedule. Like today I had one meeting. Most of my day was just sitting, on the rooftop of of the Soho House, having a coffee, just talking out loud, answering a little bit of emails here and there, but kind of like just creating space for ideas to come in, because just one idea is all you need. And then when that idea comes, I have an idea for this year, so hopefully you'll see it next year. So I've been pushing it to the company, and of course they're saying it's a bad idea, which is how I know it's a good idea. The company is saying it's a bad idea. What the company says usually is, no, we'll do this in 2026. I'm like, okay, so then I know we need to do it tomorrow. So we're working on that. And that's like the one thing I focus on. Then I'm working on my content platform just to like bring this wisdom out to as many people as possible. I do it for charity just to kind of help the masses.
That's so cool. And I feel like creating that space and actually doing nothing and not being busy is what brings in all of the creative ideas. 100%. And that's just a reminder I need to do that more often. 100%. And just even put it in my calendar, like 4 hours of space for myself.
Sure. The hardest thing for type A founders to do, it's the hardest work.
Yes.
To not work. To create open space for ideas to come in. That's like the hardest work. That'll make you sweat.
Yeah. No, it does. It's like I could be doing something.
Yes.
And what would you say is the most rewarding moment that you've had in this journey?
I remember when the brand kind of crossed that $100 million mark, and I looked at my bank account, and we couldn't even afford our car payments still, which is a crazy thing. You could have a brand that's literally everywhere selling like crazy, profitable, but you personally don't have money. And we didn't. I think like it was 7 years in, and we were still broke. I mean, we had like salaries that could get us by, but we didn't have money for tuition for the kids' school. Like that's how tough it was. And so it's not all glory. It's not you don't really monetize it in most cases until you sell it, right? So I think within 7 years, I remember an investor approached us and said, "Hey, we'd love to partner with you to take the brand to the next level." And I had said, "All right, well, let me hear what you have to say." And then I interviewed 50 other investors. And then I remember going to MaryRuth as she was like breast pumping the twins. We have twins. She was breast pumping twins, and she was like sitting there in her bed, like literally like she's being battered by kids and responsibilities in the business. And I told her, I said, "Listen, we have like 20 offers for investors to come in, kind of help us." And that was the moment she looked at me and she said, "Wow, all of this work we did, finally there's a moment that we can just take a breath and just bring in a partner and help us." And we did that. And that was like a turning point. And she brought this up to me yesterday. She said that was one of the best moments of her life when I walked into the room and I said, "Here are the offers." And bringing on these partners was the best thing we ever did. They professionalized us. You know, PE firms usually get a bad rap. They were incredible. They helped us in every way. Their name is Butterfly Equity, and till today I tell everybody about them. And they specialize in the food space. So they are the biggest investors in food and supplements. And so, you know, one day, as your brand grows, like they're the people you want to work with. And just so much heart, so much soul, so much goodness. And we partnered with them for 3 years. And then this year, we believe so much in the brand, we said to them, "Hey, we want to buy our company back." So we found out a way to buy everything back from them. They're happy, we're happy, and now we own the whole company again. This was 3-4 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So most times people would sell now, and we actually are having fun with it. So we wanted to take control over it again and, you know, grow.
I mean, I like feel that from you.
Yeah.
That you're enjoying this. Like you're
Oh my
having
gosh.
so much fun with it.
So fulfilling. So fulfilling.
Amazing.
So-
What's one piece of advice that you would give to someone just starting off? Maybe they have limited resources.
What a lot of rich people say is follow your passion. My passion is not selling vitamins. My passion is teaching Kabbalah, and I don't make money from it. What helps me creatively is building a vitamin company. And I would say to people starting out, like, it doesn't need to be the thing that you love, your passion. Like, obviously you need to enjoy and have fun. But find a way to build a viable business. Building a viable business builds self-confidence, it builds self-esteem, and it opens up 1,000 other gates that eventually will lead you to your soulmate and your passion and all these other things. If you know there's a problem you can solve for someone, solve it, even if it's not your passion. If you can monetize it and make it a profitable business, that is amazing. There's few people in the world who do that. 95% of businesses are closing down because they're not profitable. So I would say, like, if you can solve a problem for someone, just solve it. That's a selfless thing to do. Don't worry about if it's the thing you love since you were a child.
So where can listeners find you if they want to connect with you, MaryRuth, any resources? Yeah.
Well, my content is mainly on my Instagram, which is my handle, David Guillaume. And I put out 90-second clips every day. That's like bite-sized pieces of wisdom to help people with their business or their relationships or their life's purpose. If people are really interested, I invested $1 million in creating a masterclass that is like, I think I've had about 100,000 people just last year take it. It's life-changing. People can pay whatever they want. It all goes to charity. So you can pay $1 if you want or nothing. It's Kabbalah1.com. I think that's what you took, right?
Yeah, I did Kabbalah one.
Yeah, Kabbalah 1. And it is life-changing. Like within
Highly
the first
recommend.
hour. Yeah. First hour, it's amazing. And then on my website, davidguillaume.com, I gave a prosperity mastery course, which is 3 weeks. So if people are more business-oriented, you can start with that one or do that one after Kabbalah 1. But that one's also going to teach you all the secrets of how we built the brand.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much
having
for
me.
coming
Episode-
on.
Yeah. This
Yes.
was incredible. It was
Thank
so
you.
value packed and so excited for everyone to
Yes.
listen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.